Thrill of the Hunt is the 7th episode of Transformers Animated. In it, Ratchet deals with his past. Shenanigans ensue.
Primitive. It's barbaric. There ought to be a law against it.
It's just an auto supply store, Ratchet.
I mean, they are robots, but this is kind of the same thing if you saw a store just selling arms and legs and stuff. Bumblebee's new horn says robots in disguise. Got fuzzy dice, the hula girl. And it actually makes sense that he doesn't know what an air freshener is, because why would they be able to smell? Prime actually agrees with B and says Ratchet's a boomer who needs to get out more, but Ratchet's having phantom limb about the thing on his arm. But who's asking? B's Autobot logo is looking way too big on his chest right now. Looks like a sticker. But then the power goes out, and an emo muscle car tries running them down. There's a chase. Willards, try our squid burger. I think I've seen something like that. Prime uses the advertisement as a ramp, but they nearly crash into Ratchet, which has them having Vietnam flashbacks. Back when Cybertron had red skies and everything was exploding, this is our first time seeing a younger Ratchet, and our first time seeing Magnus since the first episode calling Ratchet. He's here to find RC, who has access codes, top secret stuff. Ratchet hovers down to her like Magneto, and then both her legs are busted. Of course, this is our first time also seeing RC. She's played by the ever-talented Susan Blue, who also played her in G1 and surprisingly didn't mess up her voice in that 22 years. She's actually been around for a while, also playing Transmutate and Beast Wars, and like a lot of stuff in the 80s. And outside of RC, she's been the voice director for Beast Wars, Machines, Animated, and most of Prime. From what other people have said, Sue Blue just seems to be a very upstanding lady. When she's in Shock Joke and they operate, Ratchet's thing on his arm used to be an EMP generator. He's gonna knock her out for a bit as he operates, but she's scared that's gonna erase the code. All progress will be deleted if they close the window. But that's stupid. Ratchet works on the leg, but then snap back to reality as B grows giant and pushes him out of the way. Bumblebee says they froze up like Crankcase in December. Might be referencing the Transformer character Crankcase, and how does he know what December is? A little obvious Lockdown doesn't have a driver. But I like the detail the windscreen is red on the inside, you can see through it. But I like that his shifter is a skull and his steering wheel is a chain, that fits the character. And he recognizes the Autobots. Optimus is like, there's something bothering you, Ratchet. We can just talk it out, bot to bot. Friend-like. And Ratchet's like, you kids today and your feelings and wanting to better each other. Back in my day, if something was wrong with you, you just kept that to yourself and shut up. But conveniently on the news, Lockdown's there and he's shutting off the lights. Back in the past, Ratchet's made a jury-rigged leg. And they definitely cheat when he transforms to put RC in him because there's no way she would actually fit. Lockdown's near, and they keep him in the shadow because they didn't design a Cybertronian vehicle, or the funnier idea that Cybertron somehow has muscle cars. Ratchet kind of overlaps the road spikes Lockdown lays down before he actually hits them. But if you actually look close, the tires do tear up. But then in the long shot, we don't see them again. Then out from the shadows, we see Lockdown in robot form. And he's played by the ever-awesome Lance Hendrickson. Almost kind of playing against his type as a kind of smart-ass merc rather than a cold calculative character he usually plays.
What are you hiding, Metabot? Wouldn't be an Autobot intelligence officer by any chance.
This is literally the only time we see his right arm. He fires it at Ratchet and he blows it up and it's gone forever. He's a tall drink of water, that's for sure. As he pins Ratchet, Ratchet tries using the EMP, but accidentally closes the door on him, somehow not cutting Ratchet in half. And he gets socked in the face, snapping him back to reality. And they're rolling out. Optimus can use his cannon in vehicle mode. Lockdown. Given how oil is characterized later, it's kind of weird that he can make an oil slick, right?
Sorry if I scratch your vehicle, sir. I understand something called insurance will take care of that.
But then Lockdown's engine block raises up and EMP. Ratchet has another flashback. You can tell something's up because he's already lost his chevron head thing. You can tell before the episode even points it out that the EMP's been taken off of Ratchet. Lockdown puts on his new hooked right arm, and his neck's a little miscolored. And yes, the carbon fiber wire is non-magnetic.
You Decepticon scum!
Oh, I'm not one of them.
Too bad the toy's gonna call you one anyway.
Name's Lockdown. I'm what you call a bounty hunter.
Too bad the mercenary symbol wasn't invented till long after animated.
Decepticons pay real good for info, battle plans, access codes. Your friend should net me some sweet upgrades.
Calling back to the beginning of the episode for why Ratchet hates body shops. And yes, he did take the EMP from Ratchet, explaining the thing on his arm. Why he didn't take Ratchet's magnets, I don't know. Back in reality, probably made it onto the rooftop somehow. And Lockdown transforms actually pretty accurate to his toy. And he casts Sleep on Optimus and smoke grenades out. Possibly foreshadowing that Lockdown is a cyber ninja. And just as you start wondering why the hell would Lockdown care about Optimus, this is like kidnapping the mayor of Booty, Indiana. It's because it turns out everyone thinks that Optimus was the one who blew up Megatron. He doesn't care if he actually did it or not, he's getting paid either way. Look at this sweet axe. At the cost of his hairline. Optimus tries using grappling hook, but he uses Sleep in counter. Lockdown can turn his hand into a chainsaw. You gotta get a whole nother repaint just to get that on the toy. Back with the others, they start thinking about Lockdown's probably hiding in plain sight. Probably using some holograms or something. But Ratchet's kind of unsure to actually face his past. This is our first appearance of Blitzwing since episode 1. He's excited to see Fire Truck Man. But oh no, the others arrive, so Lockdown uses his lasers, which Prowl deals with pretty easily, and Bulkhead runs in. He tries attacking Lockdown, but Lockdown says do your best and foam the rest. They also definitely cheat with him using his arm and vehicle mode and using the axe. He plans on taking B stingers, but then Prowl just chainsaws his face with his tire. Given what happens between the two later, this is kind of weird that Prowl doesn't really know who Lockdown is. And this is their only real interaction in the episode. But he gets Sleep! And Ratchet decides to face his fears, standing up to that big bully and aw damn it. But ha, psych! Energy blast again. And it turns out Ratchet's immune to EMPs.
Humans call it playing possum. Don't ask me what a possum is.
This is the first episode that not have any of our regular human characters in it. Weird. Ratchet runs up and it turns out, I guess, Lockdown's ship is covered in a giant green screen suit because he can just rip it off like it's paper. Heading down the Coraline portal and he finds Optimus. You can tell he has got that thing on his arm because Lockdown stole his grappling hook, or at least one of them. They try heading out, but hilariously Lockdown with his goofy face is at the door. And he uses grappling hook. And he starts taking off in his really coolly designed ship. Looks like something Vilgax flies. There's stuff getting tossed around, like the shelf, which Lockdown has a skull, so he's killed a organic. Ratchet takes back the grappling hook, and Lockdown pleads to get hit with the EMP. Another flashback, and we see Megatron in his Cybertronian form, ready to get RC. RC is able to kick the EMP to Ratchet, and she wants him to wipe her mind. Holding it like a gun, and there's a struggle with Lockdown, but the two manage to escape. Downside, RC's brain fried. So no, Ratchet is not going to use the EMP to make the hurt go away.
You want me to use that EMP to make your pain go away? This was a medical tool meant to heal. You turned it into a weapon.
It's honestly one of Ratchet's best moments in the entire series. Optimus and Ratchet escape by flying towards the camera in an explosion. The ship goes down, and the day is saved. Ratchet starts opening up. This is a wonderful episode. I love seeing more development for Ratchet than he's just I'm done with this shit old man medic. This episode shows that he has a very good reason to not want to talk about the Great War. But much like Optimus, it makes me more interested in what's going on in the past. It's really cool seeing RC set up. And Lockdown is just cool. From his voice to his design. We don't get a lot of Cybertronian non-Decepticon villains, especially when this came out, making him very unique. He towers over literally everyone including Bulkhead, and he's able to, even without the EMP, take everyone on equally. It's cool also setting up the Decepticons returning. Overall, I love this episode, and this is our first 10 out of 10. Spiky Mercenaries with skull paint makeup is definitely something Derek J. White loves. I love because of his design, he kind of has coattails. He has a different leg, and both arms are completely different. He's got like kind of a rub symbol where his logo would be if he actually had one. He kind of just looks like if Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein was a Transformer. And speaking of, his original design had him even more so of Frankenstein patchwork. But honestly, as like his introduction to the franchise, Lockdown's first design is perfect. His vehicle mode looks great too, it just doesn't have any of that patchworkiness to it, because it's kind of hard to make that look cool. RC looks great even if she is just G1 exaggerated. I love her fingerless gloves. What's really cool is she's one of the first post-Beast Wars female characters to actually get a figure, even if it was released towards the end of the series and exclusively at Toys R Us. It made a little less pink to sell to boys. And she does fall into Derek's shortcomings as an artist, but we'll get into that again when we see more girls.
Really adorable space violence that is Cybertron mode Ratchet. Is Ratchet, and on Cybertron there'd be no one to have to pretend to be driving him. Why does he need a windscreen? Oh, I guess it'd be pretty messed up if he didn't have one. Everyone knows vehicles see out of their windscreens, right? I think Ratchet's got enough to be miserable about without losing his eyes as well. But yeah, you gotta love this alt mode. It's a darling. This is definitely Ratchet in his prime. Buffed out and ready to rock in the glory days before everything went sort of downwards. Check out his beefy shoulder/neck area. Never knew he had it in him. Face is pretty wicked too. He's got his little horn back, bless him. As far as equipment goes, he's got this little notch to use the EMP generator, which that ratbag Lockdown nicked off him. He's still got that in the Earth mode one, in case Lockdown ever decides to give it back. So lucky old Ratchet. Cheer up, mate. You've got two totally decent action figures that accurately depict your slow descent into old age and senility and self-hatred. It's the greatest day! To a gentle fisting.